Hello everyone. In the last session, we have specifically seen financial timetable. This was been prepared by W.D. Gann in 1909. And, these details are specifically be given from 1784 to 1803. So this time period which was there, that was specifically of 18.6 years approximately. This details W.D. Gann has to try to see in the cycles which are there pertaining to lunar nodes. These details are specifically be given in the financial timetable. This was been prepared by W.D. Gann in 1909. This is something really important for us to understand, and on the basis of this part, we were able to associate this with the lunar nodes which are there. This is a interview of W.D. Gann in Tickers and Investment Guide. So this was there in December, taken by Richard Wyckoff in 1909. So the exact date is also been given here of December. Now, in the interview, Richard Wyckoff further says, I once saw him take $130 and in less than 1 month run it up to over $12,000. Gann can compound money faster than any man I have ever met. Now, what is that W. D. Gann has learned? What are the discoveries that he had made that he was able to compound money so fast? So let's see. 1908, Gann discovered what he called the market time factor, which made him one of the pioneers of technical analysis. So this is something really important, and what we need to understand is this he have discovered in 1908. We also call it as the master time factor or market time factor. Important thing it is the time factor, and this was been discovered by him in 1908. So 1908, first of all, we see the time factor that he had discovered. 1909, he had a Ticker and Investment Digest interview where Richard Wyckoff did interview him and told him that he has made good amount of profits in a short time period. 1909, financial timetable where he is able to predict about the next coming financial cycles. One of the cycles was of 1932 where he was able to predict the Great Depression. So definitely these three things we are trying to associate with each other because these are fallen in the same time, 1908 to 1909. So probably we can try to associate the lunar factors with the master time factor. We leave it up to you how do you try to coordinate that. Let's try to go towards some basic things which is the lunar nodes and try to understand the technicalities involved in the lunar nodes. So first of all, we know that there we have the sun, and with the sun we have our earth. So the earth keeps on orbiting around the sun. So this is the first and most basic fundamental we need to understand. When it keeps on rotating, it rotates around in a specific plane which we call it as the elliptic plane. So for this stage, let's try to understand that when the earth keeps on rotating around, orbiting around the sun, so this plane we called it as the elliptic plane. This Now we introduce the moon. Now the moon orbits around the earth. Now here, first and most important thing that we need to understand is the moon does not rotate in the same plane which is the elliptical plane of earth. This is a different plane. So this plane which is there, that is inclined at approximately 5 degrees. So at this point it descends, and from this point when it descends down, it comes up and ascends around from this point. So this is the ascending node, and this is the descending node where from it moves down to below the elliptic plane, and from here onwards it starts moving. So here it moves up, so this is called as the ascending node, and this is the descending node. So ascending node and descending nodes, this are in Indian mythology called as Rahu and Ketu. So this is Rahu, and the next node is Ketu. So this is descending node. So ascending nodes and descending nodes, these are you call it by different names: north node, south node, ascending node, descending nodes, or Rahu or Ketu. These are going to be the same thing, so only the nomenclature may be differing as such. So first and most important thing is Rahu and Ketu. They are almost opposite each other. This intersecting nodes, they have been called as Rahu and Ketu, and these are always at 180 degrees apart from each other, come what may. They will be always in the opposite direction. And where the moon's plane intersects the earth's plane, that is called as the nodes, and we know it as Rahu Ketu intersecting nodes, ascending descending nodes, and or the north and south nodes. So these are definitely going to be there, and we especially talk about these two nodes which are there. Now these are very important because they are the intersecting planes, so that's why they play a very critical role. And there is something called as the regression of moon. This is very important for us to understand. The westward movement of the nodes of an orbit caused by the gravitational pull of other bodies, particularly the sun. So this is the regression of moon, which plays a critical point in understanding this details, especially about the 18.6 year cycles. So this is something really important, and we need to understand this part because this gives something really important and interesting factors to us. So this is regression of moon, and these points keep on changing, and it takes around 18.6 years for these points to come across at the same coordinates. We'll take and see this with the examples when we go towards the coordinate, because this pictorial view won't be giving us an exact understanding of where it goes across and comes by. So let's say, for example, it takes around 365 days or 360 days for the nodes to again come back to the same points, but it is not the same coordinates. These are not the same coordinates. The same coordinates, especially to come down, it takes around 18.6 years coming to the same specific points, same coordinates. Same coordinates particularly is very important for us to understand, and that's why that cycle is of 18.6 years, not just a 365 days or a year cycle. So we'll go to the coordinates also and try to understand more about the details, because this is where would be critical and important for us to understand how exactly these things do happen. So we'll see the coordinates also and how these coordinates keep on changing. So let's go to the coordinates also so that we'll be able to understand. Now, yes, this is the website which is there. You can go across through that and you can find out this data which is there from 2001 onwards till 2010. So one by one, we'll see the coordinates which are there for the ascending node as well as the descending node, both of them. So this is there, as I told you, from we can get this data. I mean, like this is there for the huge time period 1501 to 2500. So huge amount of data which we can go through. More of for backtesting if you are especially interested across in. Yes, let's try to see from 2001. So these are the coordinates which are there. These are month wise, so you can definitely go through that. The coordinates are also been given. This is starting from 2001, so we can go from 2001 to the coordinates. These are probably the negative and positive coordinates. This is for ascending node as well as the descending nodes, so they are always opposite. So if this is negative, this is going to be positive. One is positive, the second is going to be negative. So we start with 2001, the data which is there, and as we go down, particularly if we see for 2003, the coordinates keep on changing, right? So this is going downward side, and as we see overall over here, the coordinates do change. Approximately it goes from positive to negative, and here onwards it goes further down. This is the next coming years which are there. So as you see, go through that, you will come to know that the coordinates which are there, they keep on changing. Around in 2010, yes, the same coordinates are there, but around in the opposite direction. So this is almost a 9-year cycle from 2001 to 2010. And also on the descending nodes, if you see, same way the coordinates are there. Initially where they were negative, now they have come down to positive. So the polarity changes from the positive part towards the negative part. In 9 years, probably they go to the opposite ends. So the change of nodes are there. You can actually say that this is happening. And yes, you if you want, you can get up more of into the details, month wise details. Definitely you can also check out with the coordinates and get more of information as per your studies and your interest into this part. So let's go to the next parts also, where again we'll try to coordinate all these things together. Coming back to 2001, as I told you, yes, you'll be able to get all the information for from 1500 to 2500, a huge humongous data. If you're interested, definitely you can go on the website and try to see and maybe correlate the data more of for backtesting, because this is something really important for us to understand. Let's go to the next part. So 1908, again the time factor, which is very critical. This is the first thing that we try to understand. 1909, there was a table which was being made, the financial timetable by W.D. Gann, and again this was there in 1909. So 1908, there was something which was being discovered by W.D. Gann. 1909, we have the financial timetable which was being prepared, and this has cycles pertaining to the lunar node. We can specifically say 1784 to 1803. Yes, the time period almost matches. 1909, he had the Richard Wyckoff's interview. Now all the three things which are there fall in place from 1908's discovery to 1909. Let's try to understand the law of vibration. I soon began to note the periodical recurrence of the rise and fall in stocks and commodities. This led me to conclude that natural law was the basis of market movements. I then decided to devote 10 years of my life to the study of natural laws as applicable to the speculative market, and to devote my best energies towards making speculation a profitable profession. It is impossible here to give an adequate idea of the law of vibration as I apply it to the market. However, the layman may be able to grasp some of the principles when I state that the law of vibration is the fundamental law upon which wireless telegraphy, wireless telephone, and phonographies are based. Now here W.D. Gann has trying to give us certain clues which are there. If we are able to understand all the three things together, probably we will be able to solve what exactly law of vibration it is, or at least try to get a hint from all these things together. Those in close touch with the market have noticed the phenomena of ebb and flow or rise and falls in the value of stocks. At certain times, a stock will become intensely active, large transactions being made in it. At other times, this same stock will become practically stationary or inactive with a very small volume of sales. I have found that the law of vibration governs and controls these conditions. I have also found that certain phases of this law govern the rise in a stock, and an entirely different rule operates on the decline. Law of vibration, lunar nodes. These are the two things that we learned over here. Let's try to see if we are able to discover further things. We'll try to meet you soon with some interesting videos. Thank you.